What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video. I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. Y'all are about to call me crazy, but I think this just might work. Y'all seen the title of the video. Y'all saw the thumbnail, so there's no reason for me to put this off any longer. Throw up the tweet right here from Pro Football Talk. It says, there's a growing buzz in league circles that Deshaun Watson could ask to be traded, and his new contract doesn't make that as difficult as you think. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what teams in the NFL need a quarterback? I'm thinking hard. I'm thinking long. I'm thinking, Do I know any teams in the NFL that do not have a franchise quarterback? Do I know any teams whose best quarterback on the roster got outplayed by Scott Tolzien, who you don't even know, and got outplayed by Chad Kelly, who you don't even respect? When's the last time you heard Chad Kelly's name? Never. Okay, he was going by Swag Kelly when he got picked literally dead last in the 2019 draft. Our best quarterback on the roster today got outplayed by a guy who is now an assistant coach in Dallas, and a guy who's out the league, who was never good, who was Mr. Irrelevant, who was literally a joke. I can think of a team that needs a quarterback right now, and Deshaun Watson, even though his contract is a big one, okay, he's getting paid, okay? He's getting paid what a franchise quarterback should be getting paid, you feel me? His pockets ain't hurting.
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
And the Panthers finally have a year where they can maybe make up some of that cap room and make this work for Deshaun Watson to come to the Panthers. We have a pretty straight receiving core. We have a really good backup, maybe even considering a 1A, 1B situation with Mike Davis at running back, and then C-Mac can play running back. He can be the bell cow, or you can put him at the slot and make him what you were going to make Curtis Samuel from the beginning, a guy who can play running back or receiver out wide or in the slot, turn him into a notch above a gadget player who can do literally everything, a utility guy who can do literally everything. I mean, he could be the perfect, best version of Taysom Hill. We've seen C-Mac throw touchdown passes before. He can be a quarterback on some plays. He went the wildcat, play running back, play receiver out wide, in the slot. He can do just about everything. You have Mike Davis doing what he does, staying solid in the backfield. There's a lot of things you can do there. And I only bring up C-Mac playing in the slot and receiver because if you pick up Deshaun Watson, you for damn sure cannot re-sign Curtis Samuel. So you have to get another receiver somehow or find some receptions from somewhere. And you're not going to draft a tight end first if you get Deshaun Watson. So you have to find receiving threats where you can get them. Okay? So the next thing is, how do you acquire Deshaun Watson? And the answer is very simple. The answer is actually extremely simple. You gotta pay up. You have to give up and mortgage your entire immediate future in order to pick up Deshaun Watson. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's gonna be expensive. It's gonna be extremely expensive, and I know the comparison is gonna be like, wait. Think about the James Harden situation with the Rockets. Everyone knows he wants out. That means the person with all the leverage is the other teams. The asking price is mad low now because you gotta trade him. You gotta get rid of him. Everyone knows he's not happy there. You have to move him. That is true. But that don't mean that those teams are gonna accept the lowest offer. It's gonna be a bidding war. Okay? They're going to accept the best offer given. You don't want to lowball and immediately take you out of the race for Deshaun Watson. You can't say, okay, what about a first and a second, maybe 2/3? Can I get Deshaun Watson, please? May I have one Deshaun Watson? Let me get one Deshaun Watson, please. What that gonna cost me? Oh, I can make you an offer? How about Deshaun Watson for KK Short straight up? How that sound? You will get kicked out the drive-thru and your whip will be towed, impounded, destroyed, all that. You do not want to lowball here. When I think about trades and acquiring players, if you were the Panthers and we had Deshaun Watson on our team and we had to trade him, would you accept the trade you're proposing if we had Deshaun Watson? Okay, I'm trying to get everything I can if I'm trading away Deshaun Watson. So I'm not trying to take any low balls, any of these weird offers, any of these strange things going on because, look, we see even with non-quarterbacks who aren't transcendent the way Deshaun Watson is, who don't have a history, even dating to college, of being a champion, being a baller, having that dog in them, being a monster, someone you can trust week in and week out, someone who can get you to the postseason and make a little run if you even have a half decent play caller. Bill O'Brien was not that. I know y'all heard J.J. Watt, what that boy was talking about. He said people ain't working. People work in Carolina. We've been doing a lot more with a lot less, honestly, for several years now. Deshaun Watson would fit in extremely well here. But you gotta pay. Like I mentioned, there are a lot of non-quarterbacks who went for the big bag. The obvious first one is Jalen Ramsey. He went from the Jags to the Rams. The Rams gave up 2 firsts and a 4th for a cornerback. We all know that the cornerback position is very important, but for a corner, 2 firsts and a 4th. That's a lot. Then the next one is Khalil Mack. We all understand how that went down. He got to get his money. John Gruden said, I don't know if I want to pay that money because we're kind of like rebuilding. We're not really a deep playoff run team right now. He traded Khalil Mack to the Bears for 2 firsts, a 3rd, and a 6th. And he also gave them a 2nd and a 7th. So there's a little bit of a back and forth in that trade. The next trade you want to think about is Jamal Adams. That happened just a few months ago. He went from the Jets to the Seahawks. The Seahawks gave up 2 first-rounders and 1 third-rounder to pick up Jamal Adams for him to completely fall off. 2 firsts and a 3rd for another cornerback. You hear those 3 examples and it makes you beg the question, what will it take to get a quarterback? If a DN and some corners take all that, how do you get a quarterback? Let me tell you these things about the draft before I get into what it would take to get Deshaun Watson. The draft. The Jets, to pick up Sam Darnold in 2018, they traded away a 1st, 3 seconds to go to the 3rd overall pick for an unknown quantity. Now look, a 1st and 3 seconds, you would do that to go up number 2 or number 3 in the draft. I feel that. That is still a lot to mortgage away for an unknown skill set in a guy like Sam Darnold. He could have been good. That is still a lot of draft capital. But think about the Washington football team. They had a different name at the time. When they picked up RG3 in 2012, they gave up 3 firsts and a 2nd. They mortgaged away their whole future. Now that was an overpay, honestly, but that's about what you pay for a guy you believe in. Now think about this. Those 2 guys were good in college, but those teams had no idea how those players would play in the pros. You've seen multiple years of Deshaun Watson. He is more valuable than both those dudes. I'm thinking this is going to take at least 2 firsts. Maybe 3 firsts. It's going to either take 2 firsts, 2 or 3 seconds, and a decent player. You can't just include Teddy. What the Texans going to do with Teddy Bridgewater? They don't want Teddy Bridgewater. You can't include Teddy Bridgewater, who's getting paid $20 million. Maybe you can't throw it in there, but it's not like a very strong asset to trade. The Texans right now, multiple firsts, at least 2, probably 3. Multiple seconds, at least 2. And maybe you can try to swap a 5th. You give up a 5th, they give you a 4th, and you throw in someone like, I don't even know. I have no idea who you would trade in, who you throw in there. You don't want to trade away any of your skill guys on offense, and everyone on defense is pretty young or really good. You don't want to go with Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, Trey Boston you can't really trade away, or strong safeties you can't really trade away. Shaq Thompson? And that makes it even tougher because I just realized you can't even pretend to keep Taylor Moton. You can't keep Moton if you sign Deshaun Watson. That's so much money going out. How do you protect Deshaun Watson? If you're giving away so many picks, you gotta pick up and sign the best GM. I think Ed Dodge is the best one available right now. A guy who can really evaluate free agency and O-lineman in free agency. The offense is going to be straight as far as skill guys. The defense has some young pieces that are ascending right now. The O-line has 4 guys who are probably going to be leaving. You might have to, you have to go 100% O-line in this draft and still pick up O-linemen in the free agency market. I don't know, actually. Keep it real with you. You have to get extremely lucky to trade for Deshaun Watson and have success, because you can't keep Curtis Samuel and you cannot keep Taylor Moton. You got to be able to identify and pick up extremely valuable, extremely efficient offensive linemen, because you want to protect your asset. He getting paid no matter what. This man, Deshaun Watson's getting paid no matter what. You better protect him. That's going to be tough. You have to hit on all O-linemen, and that could work, because Deshaun Watson, with the weapons we have available in Carolina, can make things shake. Especially with the Saints and Bucks probably going to cap hell. Their quarterbacks are getting older and older. This NFC South division is ours to win, especially with the Falcons having a high pick this year. You do not want to get beat by the Falcons in a 2-man race. I would be okay with a team trading for Deshaun Watson, but you need to have a plan in place to protect him. And that's going to be hard. But you have to also give up a big chunk of your future and maybe even a decent player to pick him up. That's how I feel about it, man. I want to do it, but it's going to take a lot to do it. A lot of luck and a lot of belief, a lot of faith. It's going to take a lot of faith. What are your thoughts? You want to pick up Deshaun Watson? Is he worth it? What would you give up for Deshaun Watson? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.